What is going on, guys? It's Thursday night, and we are live from the Scale Science Studio. Got a special episode tonight. We're going to be going live with some of the heads of state, as we'll call them, in the RC drag world. First in tonight, we got Phil. Phil, what's going on, man?
How's it going?
Going well, going well. Thanks for joining us tonight. Phil is Phil, would you call yourself the chairman or one of the chairmen of the local group?
I would just call myself the head of the Colorado NPRC. You know, I got a couple other people that help with the whole thing, but overall, I am the one who started it in Colorado and am the head of the whole thing we got going in Colorado.
Right on, man. Well, I have to call you the crown holder for now. We'll see what happens on Saturday, shall we say. Right on, man. Yeah. Well, once again, welcome. Next up, we got Tyler. Tyler, what's going on, dude?
What's happening? How you guys doing?
Guys, Tyler is from RCDragTalk. That's his online handle, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. Find him all over the place. Tyler, tell us about yourself, man. Where are you from?
Sunny Southern California.
Right on. Well, it's good to have you here. Cool that we can put a couple thousand miles of distance to bed with the good old internet, huh?
Yes, sir. Be cool if we could race this easy.
I'm sure the powers that be are working on something as we speak.
Tyler, there's enough internet racing going on.
Oh yeah, everybody's fast on Facebook.
Oh yeah. Next up, we got Ben. Ben, what's going on, man?
How's it going, guys?
Ben is tuning in from, do I say it, Wyandotte?
Wyandotte, yeah, just about 5 minutes south of Detroit, Michigan.
Right on. Another
couple blocks from the
miles
Detroit
down.
River.
Hell yeah. Ben is running the Michigan Syndicate RC drag page.
Yeah, Michigan Drag Syndicate, No Prep RC. I'm not the guy who started doing it here in Detroit, in Michigan. There's a couple of groups. There's one on the west side of state. I know there's some guys up farther up north. We had a small group going. I kind of was running that, took this one over, made up my own name, and Syndicate goes back a long ways with me as far as Michigan Slide Syndicate, which is the RC drift guys that drift here in Michigan. My friend Patrick Anderson and I started Michigan Slide Syndicate, and then Syndicate Racing is my thing. So Michigan Drag Syndicate, we're just kind of doing it big here. We got a lot of people doing it, and it's really awesome. We're excited about it.
Hell yeah, Ben. Well, welcome to the show, man. And last up, we got Mike. Mike is tuning in from right down the street here in Colorado. Mike, good to have you on, man.
Hey, thanks, guys. How you doing?
Doing great. Ready to do this show tonight, man. I'm excited. Got some different topics coming up. We'll jump right in. First up tonight. We've got the J Concepts Buick Grand National Street Eliminator body, freshly dropped. Plastic's probably still warm.
Yeah.
Have you guys got to see this thing yet?
Yeah, I got one here. It's a pretty sweet body.
It is a good looking
I
body.
dig it. I got a chance to see it early. My buddy Ruckus Bryant, he's a J Concept monster truck driver, off-road racer, and now drag racer. And he was lucky enough to get this and another one that hasn't been released yet that I can't really say anything about, but it's going to be really, really awesome. You guys are going to love it. This is a great body.
Yep.
If I ever get it, I'm gonna have a bunch of SpongeBob pants stickers all over it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It does look about as aerodynamic as a brick, but
Yeah.
it's pretty sleek though. It's pretty low, and the windshield's laid back a bit to give it some more aero.
The thing
Yeah,
I like
right.
about it is even
Pretty
with
good.
it sitting that low, there's plenty of room for the tires to expand just because where like the cab area lines up, so you don't have to worry about it hitting the trunk lid. It's pretty nice.
Yep. I was gonna ask you how much clearance it's got in the back. It looks like it's got a lot.
Riding style, you still have quite a bit of room for expansion.
I can see this being my stock class body, the stock class that we're getting going this weekend here in Michigan. I could definitely see this being my first body for that class.
Absolutely. Have you seen any of them in stores, or do you have any idea when they'll be available to purchase? You can order them. You can order them online at JCon right now, but there's no stores. I bet my shop will probably get them in early next week. I know we put the order in as soon as we saw them come out. So, right on. Yeah, they look awesome, man. I've been liking all these bodies dropping so far this year. Even though we've been locked up inside, I'm still, Proline dropped that really sweet 70s van last week.
Oh yeah,
this guy dropped this week. And, yeah, and then knowing too that there may or may not be a new body coming from J Concepts after this one. It's coming. It's coming. It's gonna be sweet.
And it's beautiful.
It's coming. It's a real good one.
Yeah, it's a really good one.
I really wish I could show you guys, but I'm not gonna be that guy.
No, me neither. Yeah, I got a stack of bodies back here. I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've been painting a body a day for customers, for myself. I rattle can them, and I can't wait to get my hands on one of these and do one of my little clean stock paint jobs on it.
Absolutely. I think, Tyler, when I saw that you got your hands on one, my first question was, is it going tuxedo, or are you going to do something wild with it?
I went green, and I did like a lowrider flare pinstripe on the roof.
Yep.
I figured everybody's going to go black when they get them, or they're going to do the style that the paint job is on the picture, So I just wanted to do something different, and green's kind of my color, so.
Definitely.
Jordan, if you check your messenger, I'll send you a picture real quick of one that's painted really crazy. My friend Russ had one painted by a local airbrush guy here, and it's a flake paint job that's amazing. I'll send it over here in a minute.
Okay, sounds good.
I've never been a big fan of that body as, a general car, but I mean, I think it looks great, and there's a huge following that loves that style of body. I think it's going to be a huge hit out there for sure.
I think it's great
Detroit
for
sure.
No bar, small tire car. Like, it's perfect,
Some of them D racing tires on there.
Yeah, exactly. Something you're running 2.2 stadium truck tires instead of the short course truck tires, It's probably the perfect body for that.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yep. I like that body a lot. But like I said, I've never been a big fan of that style of body, but I think they did a good job of making it work for what we do and keeping it pretty close to being stock to the Grand National.
Yep.
Does it do the G body shuffle also?
Can't wait to find out.
It sure will.
Yep.
No doubt.
Cool.
I mean, if there was another body coming out right now, guys, is there something that if you had a chance to tell them what you wanted, what would that body be?
A Dodge. I'm pretty sure everybody wants a Dodge.
I'd like a nice Dodge, a Demon or something like that.
A new Challenger would be awesome.
Yeah, I'd like to see something new, something of the new generation muscle car.
As much as we're sick of Chevys and stuff, I mean, even a new Camaro, a 2016 Camaro would be right. Something of the new generation would be awesome.
1981 Malibu, another Mustang. G body.
Yep.
Yes.
I think it's. I'm always thinking outside the realm here. I would love to have an actual VW, old school VW bug, or even better yet, a Carmen Ghia. That would be amazing.
Oh, yeah. Carmen would be amazing.
Yep.
Yeah. I've said it before. I mean, the short course truck wheelbase tends to have the wheelbase to width relationship very similar to that to like an old AMC AMX. A car like that.
Yeah.
So making one like that wouldn't be too difficult to get to look pretty close to the real thing. You know what I mean?
I
Yeah.
even think we could now probably with the narrowed up cars, we could start to get into some imports. You know, see some
Yeah,
old
I agree.
Supras, some RX
agree.
sevens. You know,
That would be sweet.
some different stuff. You know that it's real race car stuff. You can go down to the local drag strip and see it. You know.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yep. That would be good.
I don't know. I think
So-
as far as the bug goes, I think the Delta Plastics bug actually is pretty scaled to a bug as far as being narrow and all that. Like what Mike and I have done. It's just been tough to get them to look. I mean, much like a real drag car, trying to put a big giant drag tire on a real Volkswagen Beetle would be. You couldn't do it. You got to put a little small thin tire on there to make it fit under the back of a Volkswagen Bug. So it's the same way with the Delta body, unless you run a 0 offset wheel. But
Yeah.
it would be cool to have a Bug body. I mean, the new Bug's pretty awesome. I like it.
What up, Randall? How you doing, man? Shame you're not on here with us tonight. I know you don't do the drag racing, but it's nice to see all your guys tuning in and saying hi, all my Colorado and all my Detroit people.
What up, Eric?
Glad you guys got everyone tuning in, man. That's awesome. Ben, if you want to say something, this is the body you were telling me you're going to send me.
Yeah, this I'm gonna send to you. This belongs to my buddy Russ Ruckus Bryant. Like I said, he is a JCon Trinity undercover drag wings sponsored driver, and he had our friend Dell Dips do this paint. And man, I couldn't send you the video. I may have tried, but if you see this thing in the video, it is unbelievable. Those sparkles in there. It's really something. It's gonna look good going down the track.
Oh yeah,
Pretty sweet. It was good in white.
It does look good in white.
But when the light hits it, it's a pearl. I'm like, you wouldn't believe, man. It looks really good. It turned out really nice. Something different.
Sweet.
definitely. One of the body manufacturers that makes the drift bodies has had one of these out for probably about 2 years now, and one of our local guys did one in like a blood candy red, and man, does it look tough with some black wheels on it. Just a little more retro than the classic ones, but I could see some cool stuff coming out with those.
Nice.
All right. Next up tonight, guys, we're going to jump into our COVID clips of the week. If you guys are new, we've done the show basically since COVID started. It was our outlet since we couldn't have track time. It's kind of evolved from there. So without further ado, let's rock and roll. Man, that thing gets out.
Moving out.
If there's
That
anybody
is,
that knows how to make
That's
power,
good.
That's Todd Soltero with the new Aero car.
Oh, that chassis is something.
it's a beautiful chassis, that's for sure. And if there's anybody that knows how to make power, it's Todd Soltero. That dude can make some power.
It looks like it.
Yep.
From
He
from
looks
what
like
I've
he's got a
heard,
hook.
that's a Tekin RX-8 with a 4.5 turn motor.
Nice.
I don't know anybody that runs one of those.
Oh, me
No.
either. It's like I'm seeing into my future right now. It's kind of nice. I'm liking it.
Yeah.
So I
Big block.
just got myself one of these X Factor
Oh, yeah.
Trinity motors, and I've got it running on a RX-8 as well. So initial testing this week, man. I'm digging it. Got it re-geared a little bit differently, and man, she's scooting. Yeah, man, picking up some good electronics.
5.5. I run 160 amp Team Corelli ESC. It's been really good to me so far. This setup, tuning gearing. This last week I started running the raw speed stadium truck, clay compounds, the whites. So they're the 2.2s, and man, I love it. I do have to do some gearing changes, not much, but as far as the tire goes, I don't see me running anything but raw speeds in the near future. We have a lot of local guys that are off-road races that are sponsored by them, and they're pretty prevalent here. We carry them at my hobby shop where I work, Dirt Burner Raceway in Livonia, Michigan, and that's what I'm using. Reedy, like I said, the 5.5 Team Corelli 160 amp ESC, and just kind of stacking up different tires until I found these raw speeds, and just trying to keep it fresh and keep it new, you know.
Definitely.
You know, I did a little video earlier the week and posted out there on our page to let people know what I'm running in my car. And in the bug right there, it's a Tekin RX-8 and a Reedy Sonic 4.5 with a little bigger rotor in it to add the torque to it, get it off the line a little quicker, I think. It's just been a car that I've tuned for now 2.5 years. It's been the same chassis, just different tune, different stuff to make it get quicker and faster. And you know, I have new cars that I've built that I want to get out there and play with, but I'm so attached to what I run already that it's hard to get away from it.
Right. I hear that. Sentimental value. Get you every time.
It's more so just the fact that it's been good, and it's the wheel time. Like, I know what that car's gonna do. I know I can drive it any week, week in, week out, and it does keep getting quicker and faster the more that I do to it, the more I tune it. And so, I mean, it's right now somewhere around a high 2.4 car. It's not competing with the guys that think they're running 2.2s or whatever, but it's a consistent 2.50 car.
Yeah, it's fast, man.
It's fast. That's a fast car.
It's hard to keep the camera up with it, honestly. Speaking of fast, ladies and gentlemen, I got a clip from our drags about almost 2 weeks ago. This is Mike down below here and Phil in our Tamiya class for one of the best photo finishes I think I've ever been able to do.
That was awesome.
That was awesome.
Oh, man, that was a wire.
All that, and I lost in that race.
Yeah, you ended up breaking out on that one, right?
I broke out by 8 1,000ths, and Mike broke out by 1 1,000. So I lost.
That Mini Cooper is ridiculously consistent. I mean, you just point it and shoot it. And, you know, it's an interesting class that we got here. And, you know, I'm not sure some of the folks out there have seen the rundown on why we run that class, but it's you know, it's a laid back, easygoing class to keep costs contained at a minimum. And it's not as intimidating as, you know, the higher expense, no prep cars and faster. So a lot of people can get into this for dirt cheap, and you can put a ton of time into the, you know, adding detail and things like that to it, because you're not going to wind up putting them on the roof and everything like that. But it's a great format we have here, and I encourage anybody else to try and do something similar to what we're doing, because it's growing. I mean, that's classes. If we get everybody to show up, I would argue it would be just as big as our no prep cards almost.
Absolutely.
100% agree. I think that sometimes slower is better. You know, it really is. I mean, being fast is so intimidating, and really gets to a point when you're going to be the fastest you can be. There's only a small number of people that are going to put in the work and the time and the money that it takes to get to be that fast. And so sometimes the slower classes are better for the masses, because they'll get in and play and have a good time and not have to, you know, break the bank and and sacrifice time with the family and time with whatever else they got going on just to be able to make their toy car fast.
You mean there's something other than RC drag racing out there?
Well, I mean, that was pretty much the whole purpose of the no prep cars, was a cheaper, easier way to get people into RC drag racing, because we were doing this with pro stock cars on the street, and that's a $1,200 to $1,500 car with no suspension and foam tires.
These are $1,000 to $1,500 cars, and they're still doing the same thing. I mean, at some point.
But you can roll this down the street and drive it back and make another hit. You know what I mean?
You can.
You do that with a pro stock car, you're buying a new chassis. So there, it's everybody had one of these on the shelf too. Just to get a pro stock car, you got to find somebody in a garage manufacturing it. It's a whole other ball game. There's no major manufacturer supporting that side of the hobby.
And there's no damn goop to clean up off your crap when you're done.
Exactly.
Right. Well, it's like I've seen this in every class or any kind of hobby. To be honest with you, is every class or race type of pastime always evolves into getting faster and faster and faster. And of course, with faster, the more money it gets. That's why we put a limit on that silver can motor that you can get for like $15. And so the emphasis is off the, all out performance aspect, where you're just focusing on either building the car, enjoying it, driving it, learning to drag race it. And if you're doing good at it, what's wrong with that? I mean, there's nothing wrong with that,
And you guys run that class as a bracket, right? That's a bracket style.
Correct.
And now is that index, or is that you can put any dial in?
Any dial in. The rule is typically was that it was supposed to be I think we put out there 7 seconds or quicker, but I mean it could be I mean, we had somebody at the last race that was like a 7:15 dial in, and that was just fine too. Honestly, as long as you're driving your car and racing your car, it doesn't really matter. I mean, one of the fastest Tamiya cars that we had is my little car up there that I built out of a Traxxas funny car that I had a broken funny car chassis that was broken, and I took it and mounted it with a well, here, I'll grab it. It's pretty simple.
So that class is for the innovator. Somebody wants to build a chassis at home.
Exactly.
Somebody that's got an old touring car laying around or something that they want to just come try.
Right.
Perfect.
Initially, the class was to be, strictly a Tamiya type car. But, there's so many iterations of a Tamiya kit that you can buy nowadays. We just said, look, just keep the power plant and the ESC and 2-cell maximum, and let your creativity go wild. That's
awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
So this is a GT that actually is a Chuckworks slice, just like what I run from my Street Outlaw car. It's just an extra chassis I had, thinking that if I ever broke something, I needed parts. Well, I haven't ever broke anything on that car as far as chassis wise. So I took this other chassis, I cut it up, and I mounted a Traxxas funny car rear end to the back, and Traxxas funny car front end to the front, and then 3D printed motor, in the front with a little exhaust and your little Tamiya silver can down in there with the Tamiya speed control.
Cool.
And it's just kind of a one-off little drag car that I built. This body, the last time this body was produced was in the early 90s, and I had them laying around for, forever. And so just to make something that's completely different than what anybody else has out there. And I had all these.
And you built that pretty much for free, right?
Yeah. The only thing I have is these sweet DD racing tires in the back that actually look like, some worn out street tires. I picked those up. They're called their Phenom tires for the 2.2 buggy wheels. And so I picked those up because they look right on the car. And that's all the money I spent in this. And when you're trying to save money on a budget during COVID and make sure that you're going to be okay to last, well beyond if you lose your job. You look for things you can build out of what's in your shop. So that's what I could build out of my shop.
And it's a ripper. That thing scoots, man.
It's a handful to drive without any rear suspension, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. Well, that'll take us into our next topic tonight, guys. Hope you're all having fun out there. Thanks to all the fans that are tuned in, watching along with us. Go ahead and drop us a comment, say what's up, ask some questions if you have any. Fellas, I want to get your take on renderings and bringing renderings to life. If you guys know anything personally about the truck that we're looking at here, this big, beautiful square body, man, I wouldn't mind having one of those. How about you guys?
That'd be sweet.
Yeah. I like it.
I'm a Chevy guy, so I mean, yeah, sign me up.
Oh yeah, man. I just I like everything that's going on with it. I don't know, as far as like the drag world's concerned, how do these bodies start? Do these manufacturers reach out to the communities, or are they just releasing and hoping that they land?
Honestly,
I think initially. Go ahead, Tyler.
I don't know where they're getting their input from, because from what I see on the webs is everybody for the last year, dude, has been begging for a Dodge, and they just keep dropping Chevy after Chevy. So who knows?
It's a licensing thing.
I mean,
it
is and it isn't, because the same companies are pulling Dodge licensing for other scale bodies,
Right.
So
true.
It's what side of the road they want to go down. From what I know, this side of the hobby is so small that the manufacturers are scared to leap in full force because they don't want it to just disappear. You know what I mean?
Sure.
With Associated coming on board and releasing a kit, that helps us. That now it's not just homebrew cars being built in a garage. That gives body manufacturers specific specs to build off of, and that's a huge thing for us.
Absolutely, man.
The DR10 is a great platform. I mean, for a car that you can pick up and, if you want to be competitive with the fastest guys out there, you change your motor and speed control and, some fluids and some tuning, and you are there. I mean, I've seen that car pretty much, just with electronic upgrades go in the high 2.2 range, 2.3 range. And I was amazed. I mean, so much that I had to buy one myself. So, now my son drives that car and it's still stock, because it's kind of cool to let people see what the stock car will do.
Definitely.
But as far as renderings go, like, I think that body looks pretty sweet. And I think that, it would be cool if we got into more, if there were just more options out there. I mean, it does kind of stink that there's a lot of Chevys. I'm a Volkswagen guy first and a Chevy guy second. Grew up in a Chevy house, and Volkswagens was my first car, and still my love. So that's why I race a Bug. In Colorado, I encourage us to, build the car that you love and come out and make it fast. I mean, a lot of places you see 100 Corvettes out there because it's the most aerodynamic body. And, that's not what we do in Colorado. I mean, if it comes to that, it comes to that. But right now, it's like you, Jordan, you're an import guy. So I turned you on to a Toyota Celica to come out
great
and race
body,
because, it's you.
Yeah.
No,
I love it, man. And I don't expect to ever run into anyone else that has one either. So
it's more fun to race the car that you love. That's why I race this Volkswagen Beetle. It's huge. It's heavy. I mean, I guarantee you I could be quicker if I put a Corvette body or a Super J body on there, but that's not what it's about to me. It's about building a car that I love and going out and racing it and having fun doing it.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. Well said, my friend. Well said.
Just got to look good doing it.
That's right.
Yeah, speaking of looking good, I mean, man,
The Octane.
something
yeah.
about these Octane bodies, man. They just
Tony's
the shape
car.
of them. I like
They're
it.
huge.
Dude, I love the Octane. I do.
For somebody getting into it and having a stock with slash, I mean, that's a great body to start with. You know, it fits over it. You don't have to come out too much dough with buying. You know, you might have a stock slash. You don't want to go buy the buggy arms, the banded arms, and all that. There you go. Slap a body on it and go get a feel for it, get a taste for it. And then if you want to skinny it up and do something, you go from there. But great body to start with for sure.
Yep. I tell you, Proline, they thought this through a little bit more in the sense of, you know, tire clearance and things like that, where, you know, they did a bang-up job on both of them.
They made this body before and it didn't sell.
Yep.
The Desert
Exactly.
Eagle. It had the engine on it with a side pipe
Right.
on it.
Yep.
And they just took that body and molded the hood smooth and took the side pipes off. It's literally the exact same body.
Yep.
That's all it took, though, to make it
Sometimes those
beautiful.
little details are different.
It's crazy. Like, I still haven't seen the other body as a drag car. Like, you can still find it inside hobby stores. I just haven't seen anybody do it.
You know, if they didn't put that goofy lip on the back of the roof, it would be bitch.
Hold on a second.
I agree.
Yeah. No doubt. No doubt. I mean, and I guess, too, it's like you see a lot of Novas. This one, to me, though, it just struck me very uniquely with that paint job and just the little details that are always the thing that'll kind of set a body apart for me, you know, going in and having, like, the little rivets. I don't know if those are part of the window stickers on that body or not. I've never got to hold the Nova.
No, they're not. Those are hand done. I do them on all mine.
Nice.
I've done like 10 of those Nova bodies in the last couple of weeks for customers, and each one of them just turns out they just look so good every time. I don't like they're not the best body. I see a lot of them at the top end of the track tend to take off, flip backwards when the wind catches them at that high speed. I think it's because of the rear bumper is one thing for me, but as far as looks go, it's probably one of my favorite bodies that are out there right now on the drag cars. It's just classic, clean, and it looks really scale when you look at it. It doesn't look mushed up or stretched out or chopped or anything like that. It looks right on.
Yeah,
it looks right. Which makes, you know, like, did Proline do too good of a job with that body? Because now it's so hard for any other body manufacturer to make something that is that scale. Everything before that body was kind of like off a little bit here or there, and we were all okay with it, right? And now, if everything doesn't come out, if everything doesn't come out with that much scale, detail, and all that Nova body did, everybody's, you know, complaining and bitching about, you know, the bodies that come out. As much as I, you know, like all the bodies that come out, you see everybody going, oh, it looks terrible, this or that or the other thing. Well, I mean, it's, you know, when they built that Nova body, they did it right. But now I think the bar is set so high that it's hard to make other bodies look scale to the car. Like
I kind of agree. I also just think they're the only ones that listened when we said scale race car.
I 100% agree with that as well.
So, I mean, even the Corvette looks pretty scale to me. So
it really does.
It's pretty close.
I mean,
it looks like
I definitely think that Proline may take a little longer with producing the bodies, but they definitely drop a better product when it's released.
And it's half the price.
And it's definitely more affordable. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. I have a hard time paying $60 for a body that I'm like, it's all right.
I'll tell you what, J Concepts has the best window masks. I'm convinced.
I will agree. The window masks are on point. Like, they laid down really well. They came off really well. They didn't lift in the spraying process. It was.
That's
really
the main thing. They don't lift like the other stuff you see, like the Proline stuff and whatnot.
when you paint a body with clear mask and stuff, the window mask really don't matter. You cut it out by hand.
Oh yeah, I'm one of those people. I got to lay the window mask down. I still rattle can them, 2-can Sam them. You know.
I got you. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Delta does a dang good job with their bodies as well. Their stickers aren't too great. I'll put it that way.
I haven't had one yet.
Yeah, the stickers are not good. But the body is
it's
the
almost
plastic.
like any platform, you know, like one of them excels in one thing and they like suck in the other, you know.
You know what's nice about the Delta bodies is that they're thick, right? They're really durable, right? They're a little heavier, but they're really durable, and it's cool that you can get something that's unique, you know.
Yep.
So
I'll take heavy for durable, you know. I mean, what does heavy matter when you're bolting 3D printed parts on and mirrors and exhausts and scale parachutes, you know? What does all that really matter? I'd rather it be non-flimsy, you know?
Absolutely.
I mean,
speaking of scale parachutes, thank you, Jordan.
You know the nice part about
they come out cool.
Everything looks good.
Awesome, man. I can't wait to see them bolted up.
Mm-hmm. I need some back here, Jordan. You're gonna make me some.
Deal. I'm gonna bring a bunch of stuff. I don't know if you guys. I'll try to show you. In the middle of that table right there, there's probably 10 sets of everything. I'll be bringing with me on Saturday. So if you guys need anything, just let me know.
So you got your genie working, huh?
Oh yeah. She's got about 3 days of sleep in 10 weeks so far. So I'm basically gonna try to run it until it melts or dies or whatever. Will not physically function anymore. Then I'll spend $200 more to get another one.
I will literally wake up at around 11 o'clock sometimes, and before I forget my mindset, I go back down here, lay it out on the CAD, and print it out. So the next morning when I wake up, it's there.
Yep.
You know, 3D printers have come such a long way nowadays. You know, with the technology, anybody can get into it and start making their own stuff. It's crazy.
Definitely. Hey, Mike, Rudy here on the chat wants to check out your bug, I think, unless he's talking about Phil's.
Yeah. So that's the what we did. That's what I did for the Tamiya 540 class. So I wouldn't dream of putting this kind of detail into a no prep car because you know what happens.
Oh, come on.
Yard sale.
Come on.
You know, this one, I mean, it's a completely scratch built chassis. You know, Home Depot special along with like my 3D printer parts, you know. The direct drive, pretty simple as it can get. I'm not sure if you can. There we go. So
yeah, that'd be the perfect class for an RJ Speed chassis.
Yep.
Exactly. I mean, if you got an old thing laying around like that that's sitting on a shelf, that absolutely that's what we encourage.
Yeah.
You know?
Here's the other bug too, if that's what they were talking about. And so this one is actually my no prep Street Outlaw car. It's on a Chuckworks slice chassis. Tekin RX-8 ESC with a 4.5 turn motor like we were talking about before. MKS HBL 550 LX servo in there. You know,
is that on banded arms, Phil?
Yes, it is banded arms in the back and the front. And there's a ton of room in there. You can see.
Oh yeah, you still got clearance for days, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you could room whatever. You could fit a stock slash over this body more than likely, I would say, all together.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
it amazes me how much room you have on that thing compared to the old school looking VW.
You don't have a whole lot of room in the old one for sure. But I do like that about the new one. There is more room. and I could slam the nose down real far, really get the look of when you look at new Beetle drag cars, how they are shaped, how they cut them down in the front, make a pro mod out of them. I really dug that, and so I was like, you know what, I can do that out of this body, and there's still a ton of room in the back. Anytime you run a body that has a fender, right here, rather than an open space, you got to worry about tire swelling and all that rubbing on the paint. But I've fallen in love with the reaction tire. They don't swell, and they hook really well for me, so they're what I run. Not to mention, this set right here has 60 passes on them.
Nice.
And they're still alive, I have brand new ones that I'm going to throw on there before the weekend because they're getting a little thin on the edges. But, 60 passes out of a set of tires is amazing.
I got more. That's another story.
You got more 2.8 passes, Mike.
Yeah, but I'm here to win the war, not the battle.
You are, that's for sure. You won last year, that's for sure.
He plays the long game, man. He plays the long game.
Mike has
That's
that,
right.
that nice trophy from last year in his shop. So,
That's right.
yeah, he won the championship. He was there the whole season and took home the hardware for sure.
Yeah.
I was kind of digging this Ken Block inspired classic Ford.
Well,
I've been actually running the double sets front and back of the rear tires, so this look kind of has me thinking what the next body after the Celica might be.
That's pretty sweet.
It's a cool body. In fact, I did a rear wing for what's it face, and you got the body now, don't you, Philip?
Yep,
The paint.
I do. I
really kind of started falling in love with that truck body. I wasn't a fan of it initially, but you know what? Once I put that wing on there, it really grew on me.
Here, I have it right here. It's for for Kerry Adams. Let me grab that body.
Yeah, it really turned out well. I do like that DC truck there, man. That was.
I've always wanted to get this and do an Old Smoky replica with this body.
Oh yeah,
Pretty cool.
that would
You know
be.
who- That Cummins F100.
That would be
Yep.
so cool.
And just do an old heavy.
Old Heavy's a Chevy.
Yeah.
Oh, that wing looks good on there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yep. No, it turned out good. I like it. Like I said, I'm really thinking about if I'm going to do a truck, I'm really might go that route.
It needs like a 3D printed roll bar, like an old school
Yep.
roll bar in the bed.
This might be taller than my bug there, Mike.
Yes.
My bug's really tall. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
There you go.
But no, it's a cool body. I like it.
The wing definitely makes it look right on. Like it looks like a drag truck now.
Yep.
Yeah.
I like the hood scoop that the classic Chevy truck has too. So maybe even something accented up there, or some turbos or something to add in would look pretty wicked as well.
I've heard
Big
the
old,
guys
V8
at
scoop.
Undercover Drag Wings are going to be making some hood scoops here pretty soon.
Awesome.
Yeah, I heard that too.
Hell
so
yeah.
that'll be a good change up for some bodies to be able to bolt on and
I will
give
say
a different look.
that Greg makes some really awesome stuff for cars. I like his stuff. Greg Bridgewater, his splitters and wings and all that really look good on cars.
Oh,
I
the
mean-
fit and the finish for the cheap amount of money is unbeatable. Like just not having to spend all day Saturday trying to bend up a wing when all you gotta do is punch a couple holes. That's worth it right there.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and the fact that he caters to both. He makes some of the big pro mod style wings for cars, and then he also caters to people that are like us. Some of us that don't want to put that big giant wing on the car, and he makes the shorter, like pro street looking wing. and it looks right. It looks really good. Yeah, there you go, Tyler. That one. And
Yeah, he does good work.
yeah, there you go.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I mean-
it's a good setup.
For $20 shipped to your door, that's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, you can see he even notches it for the deck lid. Like he does real good work. I got a few of his products here. I have one for the Octane. I got one coming for the new J Concepts body. He does good work.
And some of his
I
videos,
might as well show y'all these too.
mounting tires and stuff like that. Some of his videos are really good as well.
Nice.
Are
Bling,
those
bling.
painted, Tyler, or are they?
Yeah, so they're painted
Are they
inners.
painted?
These are painted inners. And then here's a set of the raw inners.
Wow.
I may need some of those for the bug.
That's impressive.
So the fronts, you can flip the stars. You could take them out and flip them and run like deep dish if you're running the wide setup, and you want to have a little bit of bling bling, you know.
Oh yeah, okay, nice.
Or you could run them the
How
shallow
heavy
way.
are they?
These are I forget what it was, 23 grams or something like that. The fronts are heavier than plastic fronts. The rears are lighter than plastic rears. It's kind of strange how that works, but it doesn't have any of the webbing or any of that nonsense in there, so it makes it lighter.
Very cool. Huh. Very cool.
And these are the narrowest wheels you can get for the rear of your car. So if I put them on my Nova right here, it'll narrow up my DR10 3/4 of an inch.
Mike, those wheels and tires would go right on a bug on Bandit arms.
Oh yeah, so if you wanted to run like the narrow Bandit, these would be the perfect wheels to get.
You're gonna make me get another old bug body.
No, let me ask you this: what do you, do they glue onto the aluminum, or what do
they're
how do you keep them on?
I use the Proline tire glue, and I've never had any issues. And then when the tire's junk, just soak them in acetone, and the glue comes right off, and you clean them and put your new set on.
Yep.
Nice.
Just make sure you're using like a tire-specific glue, and it works great. If you use a CA glue, it comes apart.
Okay.
Gotcha. Other than that, he's working on a deep dish option that should be as deep as like the Proline wheels or a little bit deeper. And then he's working on bead locks as well for those that don't like the glue option.
Awesome, man.
Gotcha.
Covering all the bases.
Yeah. He's a local machinist right here in Southern California, and everything comes from the USA. So it's all made in the USA.
Awesome.
That's cool.
Great.
It's my buddy Pat's car. Can you tell he's a drifter?
Oh, yeah. That's drift inspired right there. That's cool.
I like the sticker bomb.
That's a street stock car that we're going to be running tomorrow night in the first race for our stock class. He's got headlights on it, as you saw a couple pictures ago. Very cool car. He does some really cool
I like the
stuff.
mirrors.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's a good touch.
Mirrors and headlights. That's my style right there.
Yeah. Nova's a pretty popular body here. This is one I painted for one of my buddies, and I've painted, like I said, I probably painted 6, 7, 8, 9. Who knows how many of them, but they're cool.
Oh yeah, it's looking good, man.
Proline did a fantastic job with that body, man. They nailed it.
Here's that classic Chevy truck.
I like that.
I like the little touches that he did to it. Gave it a little more racy vibe.
You know, I love that he just made holes under the wing right there for the air to escape and didn't just cut the whole back end out, you know?
Yeah.
Because from normal view, you can't see those. The big
that
wing
right
covers
there,
it, you know?
That right there would be acceptable to me. Somebody cutting the whole back end of their car out. I'm like, dude, come on, man. Really? Come on.
Yeah, I did that with the Joker before its, retirement.
I want to see somebody go farm truck style and put the whole tailgate on hinges so when they leave, it folds back.
Dude, that's awesome.
That's scale.
There's that one that just showed up the other day on Facebook, the new farm truck that somebody did. It looks amazing.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's all patinaed out and looks
on this body too, right? And they made like a little camper.
It's on that body. Yeah. It's not. It doesn't look like farm truck, but it does look like a farm truck drag truck. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Close enough, right?
Yep. For sure.
Oh yeah. Another
Nice, that's
Nova.
a cool picture.
I love cool pictures, man. I'm all about it.
Me
no matter
too.
what vehicle it is. This is a cool shot, and especially with the lights and everything working on the car, that's just adds to it.
Dude, Tyler posts cool pictures every day. He takes pictures.
Yeah.
Of the car.
You got a lot of great content, Tyler. I really have enjoyed following your stuff on Instagram, especially, man. You're posting pictures daily, usually 3-4 times a day, man. You're always in my feed, it seems like.
Yeah, you gotta stay at it, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Palm trees go really good with cars.
Yes, they do.
Sunsets,
Makes them look faster.
sunrises.
Yeah, no, beachfront with palm trees on a sunset and a car. That's the ticket.
I'll post that one for you tomorrow, Mike. I gotta go to Newport Beach tomorrow morning. I'll take the car with me. I'll get one in the morning.
I prefer a crown and a fat wad of cash and a.
Hopefully Saturday
Yeah,
night
don't
I'll
get
be
used
posting
to it.
one of those.
Yeah.
So this isn't a body that I've seen done a lot. It looks like a Monte Carlo.
Oh, that's actually that's the old Delta body, or not Delta, but Parma. Parma actually had a G body out there for a long time, and nobody did it. I mean, it was wide and fat. You could throw on
So wide.
flash, and so many people never did it. You know, now the new J Concept one is narrower.
Ben, in the beginning of this, like 4 or 5 years ago, me and JD Crow, Parma bodies used to be all we could use because that's all they had. We used to cut 1.5 inches out of the center of those things and like bolt them back together, to get them to look good on a narrowed car.
But
I don't know why Delta's never caught on and just hasn't shrank their mold and remade them. Like they already have all the molds. Why wouldn't you just
Parma's so? I agree. You know, I have their Camaro that I actually worked on making my own body. I actually put a cowl induction hood on it and all that. I just didn't make a great mold, so therefore it never got put into production or anything like that. But yeah, why don't you just modify what you have and fill the need of what's out there? I mean, there is a huge market right now that they could be making a killing on with their molds, and they're just letting it go by the wayside. I'm pretty disappointed with Parma.
Well, what's even sad is you cannot get that 55. I remember I saw it that using a Parma, for the Joker, the original Joker. I mean that was a Parma 55. I cannot find that body anymore. You cannot buy them anymore.
With the COVID stuff, they pretty much closed up shop right now. They're not even making anything to sell on eBay or anything.
Yeah.
It's like you can find.
Sorry, the quality of their bodies is really like mediocre. I just we painted one for my friend the other day, and some of the runs and the body and like in the mold and design and no stickers and all that, like they serve the purpose, but they're unless they clean them up and make them a little bit better, I don't see them being around a whole lot longer.
Yeah.
I mean, Parma in general, so they do a lot of other stuff, but as far as the bodies go,
Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But it wouldn't take a whole lot of work to put them right in the game.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
Yeah, I mean, they're missing out on the easy details,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's a wicked paint job right there.
That's a cool
really,
one.
Yeah.
See,
Way
my
too
thing with
complex
that
one.
wild is those are the ones that I don't want to scratch up and beat to crap. When it's just a single color, it's like I run it. It's just a street car, When you got it painted up like a pro mod, that's like a shelf queen to me.
When you call up someone like Rocco Epler,
you pay that amount of money for a paint job, I ain't running it.
Man, I ain't running that one either. I talked to him about a paint job a little while back, and he was like $285 for a body painted, and I'm like, bro, No.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm like, that's a lot of dough.
I mean,
That
I
was
mean,
just on a shelf, and I ain't paying for a shelf queen. You know, I race my car. So,
but how long does it take to do it? That's why, I get people asking me all the time for parts like the blowers and whatever I put on my cars. And I'm like, I can't make them fast enough to justify that economically. They if I did tell them a price, they'd go, that's way too expensive. Well, I understand that, but I took this long to make it, so I can see the price he's charging for that body if it took him 5-6 hours to do,
I mean, 100%. I mean, this body right here, that I painted for last year's season, I probably had 8 hours in my paint job, right? To get that body the way it looked and ready to go. Now it's beat up. It's been raced for a year plus. And, so a body like that, I mean, 8 hours of labor to paint it, I can see where that's going to cost a big chunk of money. But when you got other people out there that are doing, really good work as well, and they're, $100 less for a body painted, you're like, well, I honestly have always thought those people that charge that little are charging too little. I mean, honestly, there's
nobody's getting rich painting RC bodies. That's for damn sure.
No.
One of the reasons I really don't paint for anybody else other than myself, because I can't justify painting all that into somebody else's car and only making, $50, $60 to do it. It's like, it's not worth doing.
It's been helping me out a lot, man, since this has been going on. It's been my little side hustle, and I just rattle can stuff. I do like real clean, simple ones, but $60-$70 helps me out a lot, man.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Real simple that's fine.
That's not. I'd pay that all day for a paint job. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's $100 more than the normal airbrusher. Then there's a problem.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I know airbrushing is not easy, and I know it takes a lot of time for these guys to prep the bodies. They're sitting on a stack of bodies already,
Yeah, of course.
But I mean, at the end of the day, in this hobby, $100 will go a long way. So if you could save $100 on a paint job, I'd save the $100.
Exactly.
I mean, Liam Bushcampbell out of, I think he's out of Florida. He does some amazing work at, far less money than that. But I mean, I really liked Rocco's style with the Nova in particular, because his style is 80s drag car. It fits that Nova body to a T. I mean, it's really good. But that being said, it's the same. A lot of times with his bodies, it's the same damn style on every body he does, just different colors. And you're like, man, I can't see paying for something that somebody else has too, So, I mean, that's why I paint my own stuff. I kind of just, for me, it starts with the body and build the car to the body and then fall in love with your car, Like, it was, at first, my car was that yellow and white bug that I had a couple of years ago, and that was, that was my car. I was going to run it all year long. And then it went to the octane body, and that was my car. We were one. And now it's this car, and if it keeps winning, we're one.
Yeah.
So, yep, I like the new Beetle body. I love being different. It's never fun to just be just like everybody else showing up out there. And that's what's nice about us in Colorado, is that there's so many different bodies that we have coming out here, and really there's nothing two cars alike, and we don't have a whole bunch of one that kind of takes over.
Yep.
Hey Jordan, I just sent you a picture. See if you can pump that one up there real quick. It's on your personal messenger, and see what everybody thinks about this thing.
All right. Oh yes, yes indeed.
This thing is this is from Tarp Racing. Old man Billy, he's out of Ohio. He used to make chassis for X Factory, all carbon, graphite chassis, and this thing is just something he put together as just something fun. And if he gets it, this thing is really, really cool. If Jordan gets this thing posted up here, it's a little overkill, but at the same time, it's completely legal for outlaw no prep racing, and yeah, it's serious. 2 motors, 2 SCs, double wide tires.
Everything.
Oh, I see that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, and believe it or not, it goes down the track like pretty awesome. So,
yeah,
that's pretty crazy.
Tarp Racing, they make some really nice chassis. They've got a mid motor slash conversion coming out. They've got some, they're making them for everything. DR10 and just some really nice chassis and a really nice guy. Small operation and just like good people, good stuff.
Just
you could have that car. You could have complete ESC and motor failure, and it still go down the track.
Yeah.
It's a backup motor. I was only on one motor, dude.
Heck yeah.
Really cool.
Mike, actually, I'm going to bring a chassis for you I want you to take a look on Saturday. The chassis is engineered to where you can basically swap the bulkhead from front to rear and run it as a front wheel drive or rear wheel drive chassis. So I'm really thinking about making that one a dual motor replica of this twin VR6 GTI that's here in Denver.
Isn't that thing cool?
Dude,
is it the
2 transmissions? Like, it's just so
you're my hero.
Oh my God.
Was that the green one?
Yes.
I seen that. That thing is insane.
Yes, man. It just, as like a person that appreciates like fabrication and things of that nature, like it gives you a hard on. Sorry for my language, people, but good God, that thing is just like amazing.
I love
truly.
I think outside the box,
Absolutely. And
way cool.
I like seeing like that outside the box thinking. Being successful too, I mean, he's definitely been plagued with tons of problems driving it, but to see it actually make like a full pass down the track and run decently down into the teen digits, even close to 11s, it's just like, holy cow, that's freaking ripping, man.
That is amazing.
Right on. Thanks for the share, Ben. That's awesome, dude. Phil, there's a close up of your little baby.
Yeah, that car has been there's John Schultz's car.
Yes, sir.
Man.
If anybody doesn't know John Schultz, you should know John Schultz.
Yep.
John Schultz, you out there watching?
He's probably the most rad person.
He might be watching.
He might be watching.
He is the reason the DR10 exists.
He is.
He's my hero.
We kind of hit it off at the AMA show, racing together, and then it seems like we just look forward to racing against each other anytime we can. And out in Vegas, we got to race against each other too. We just have a blast. He's a great guy. I mean, just if you want a friend in your life, John Schultz will be the dude you want, and he's always doing rad stuff. Between his RC stuff and out there four-wheeling his Jeep and camping off the roof of his Jeep. And, John Schultz is where it's at.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. I like his taste in cars, man. That's a good-looking show right there.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Good car. I mean, seeing that DR10, essentially it was the DB10 at the time in California, with what they were doing with that car, I was amazed. Uncle
Schultz, that's right.
Yeah, Uncle Schultz. Yeah, I mean, we're talking.
It's past his bedtime. Actually, he probably is asleep. It's 10 o'clock. Old man.
The DR10 or the DB10 is so smooth. Like the transmission is so smooth, so quiet, and the cars are.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like effortlessly fast, and so that was what really turned me on to that. I got one of those cars. It's sitting up there. My son drives it now. It's got a Corvette body on it, but I left it all stock electronics. It may not be stock on Saturday. We might hop it up a bit for him. But I mean, you know what they came up with that DR10. You know, you get some people that want to complain about it. That it's not fast out of the box. It's not going to compete. Well, you know what? It is pretty fast out of the box if you've never done this before. And then once you get used to going quicker and faster, then you can upgrade the electronics. And I mean, realistically, you can have a competitive car that can win anywhere, you know, just by upgrading a few pieces of the car. And there's not many cars that can say that. I mean, we're talking a Traxxas car to get to be where a lot of us are at to be competitive on a national level. You're going to spend $800, $1,000, $1,200 to get into a carbon fiber chassis, whatnot, wherever to make your car be that quick. And you can realistically take that DR10 and, you know, throw another $300 worth of motor and ESC in it with, you know, some tuning, and you're going to be right in the ballpark to win anywhere.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, carbon fiber doesn't make you win races, that's for sure.
No. I don't have much of that on my car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just the wheelie bar. That's all I got is carbon fiber on my car. And that is a G10 chassis.
I really like this one too for some creativity, man. This is definitely some
That is cool.
out of the box thinking here with the Pro Line Power Wagon body.
Yeah.
It's a
Very nicely done.
Really like that. Like that patina on there.
Cool.
Then I saw this one too, guys. This is crazy. I don't even really know how to explain it, but basically it looks like all different kinds of like links and rod ends and whatnot to replicate like a tube chassis.
Very interesting. Somebody had a lot of time on their hands.
Yes. I definitely would love to see a video of this driving.
Or a lot of links laying around.
Yeah.
I wonder how rigid that thing is.
Definitely. I look at this and I have so many questions.
Yeah, right.
I'm going to have to reach out and see if I can get some more information on this thing.
Can we get a run video?
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
Jalen, we need a video, man. This is ridiculously creative, bro.
Yeah.
Right on. I wanted to show you guys something. I had this idea here last night. I zip tied my battery to the top of my battery tray in my associated car. It's a B4. And in our drift cars, when you elevate the battery tray, you basically are moving the, squat point over the rear end, and it helps build traction in those cars to make them faster on like polished concrete. So by raising that battery up, I was actually seeing like better reaction times yesterday. So we'll see if it actually holds up on track on Saturday. But this is going to essentially elevate the battery tray like 24 millimeters upwards.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. I love how people are being ingenuitive and how, you use your brain and figure out what's going to make your car quicker, Don't just do what everybody else does, And
yeah, no, that's interesting. So you get more weight transfer with the center of gravity further up. Okay.
Yeah, and it's like the fulcrum point that it creates within the rear suspension is higher, so it like pushes down on the car harder than like pulling back on the car when the weight does transfer. So it's like the way that it transfers the weight is slightly different.
I just think it's going to be a problem, when the car gets squirrely, and we all know these cars get a little squirrely.
Yeah,
it's going to make your car want to lean a whole lot more, and unless your suspension is ridiculously stiff to keep it from swaying, I think that's going to be a problem. And watching your car go down the track, I mean, your car already, if it gets out of hand, it kind of wants to lean a lot.
Yeah. No, I actually I took some travel out of my shocks. I put some limiters in there, so still, enough to get me to where I'm gonna pass my tech inspection with having movement in my suspension, but not making it to where I think I measured it out at like 32 millimeters or something of suspension travel. So
I'm gonna give a little John Schultz trick out here to make your car stay more stable. I know this doesn't work for everybody and everybody's setup. It's not what I do, but it's what I've seen done in the DR10. Is what I've done in my DB10. But if you take the shock oil out and replace it with a thicker diff fluid, it can make your car very stable.
Nice.
Very stiff, very stable. Still, your suspension will still travel, but it's very stiff when it comes to trying to. So there won't be that body lean. And so that was something that I took away from watching them with their cars at first, the DR10. I know that as you get to the faster points, a lot of times you want your car to have more suspension travel now, but if you want a quick, easy, inexpensive way to make your car more stable, you can replace your shock fluid with, a 5,000 weight diff fluid or whatnot, and it has like a 5,000 actually does very well to keep the car stable.
Thin for a diff fluid, not for a shock.
Absolutely. Very thick for a shock, very thin for a diff.
Yeah.
And so that seems to work out pretty well to get you going straight, keeping the car stable, making A to B passes. It's definitely a good thing to look at. Now, I will say that once you get to the point of being, one of the quickest guys in your area, you're probably going to want to go away from that and go back to a shock fluid and look for more weight transfer in your car, all those things. But it is definitely a useful tool to get you in the ballpark.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Right on. Right on, guys. Well, I just got one last thing here for us tonight, and that is just a little shout out for the local page, our Colorado No Prep RC page.
Mm-hmm.
We got our points race number 2 coming up on Saturday. Come on down. Starts at 4.
Hey, if anybody's paying attention, if anybody is paying attention out there, Proline, Paul, Boy, make that body right there.
Yeah.
You need one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope a lot of the last season's people show up. We had a great turnout last weekend. Last race, I should say.
It was pretty amazing. We had 20 cars, and most people that normally show up didn't show up because of either other obligations or the COVID stuff. But we had 20 cars show up to our first event for the season, and awesome. two of them couldn't make the call to the first round. But somebody decided to take the car off-road, jump off the end there.
Note to self: don't cut out front hood scoops. That's bad on the big end.
20 cars is nice.
Yeah.
So I would suspect we're probably going to have somewhere around a 25 car field for Street Outlaw this time. That's what I
and
would.
many of those people are going to bring the T 540 cars as well, so that class is going to grow as well. So
yeah, there's more of those
50
cars.
for my next race.
I mean, 50 cars, huge field. I mean, gosh, that's
We've been lucky enough to have sponsors throw cash on top of the pot as well. That double wide dragster that I showed you guys, he sponsors a couple of the drivers, local drivers, and he's throwing $100 on top of the pot. He threw a chassis to second place. You know, I mean, it's been really good. Last week it was $430 for the pot, so that was really cool.
You know, we've had some local hobby shop support here. We had Hobbytown Parker that has supported our kids class for a couple of years. You know, with the whole COVID thing, I haven't really reached out to have any extra sponsors this year.
Sure.
Because they were shut down and all that. And so, you know, we really don't have really any extra sponsorship this year. And we really, with our first race, we really didn't have a kids class. And the kids that are going to come out, I do know they will race either in the Tamiya class or the Street Outlaw class. Or we have an unlimited class if people decide they want to come out and race, you know, whatever car they want to bring. But really, we try to make Street Outlaw be our top class. Really, it's the highlight of what we do. And the Tamiya class is really growing. I mean, last year we only had a couple cars every race, and now, I mean, our first race of the season we had 10 cars show up, and since the first race, there's been another few cars that have said, "Hey, we got another Tamiya car. We're ready to come race." So I can see we're going to get to 15 to 20 car field in the Tamiya class, and we're going to have, close to 30, if not more than 30 cars this season in the Street Outlaw class. It's going to be an amazing 2022.
Awesome. Best of luck to you guys out there. You guys are doing it really cool. Really cool.
You guys how do you guys run things up there in Michigan? What do you do for? I mean,
so it's me. I run it. I have a few people, like you were saying, that help you out. But I run it. I haven't been in this very long, only a few months. I mean, I've been in RC for 20, 30 years. 43 years old. I've been doing it a long time, and through different types and different styles and nitro and everything, but crawling, all that stuff. But here in Michigan, we've got a rule set. We try and keep it on par with everybody else, what everybody's doing. Me kind of fabricating the rules from that stuff. There's been a wrinkle here and there, but it's just, you smooth them out one at a time. And we were having an issue with the chase as a race thing. And I understand it. I understand where it comes from in the real Street Outlaw world. Unfortunately for us, it just wasn't working out, So now we're going to have a light every time. We do have a DTS system. We're trying to get it working. And for us, with a lot of people, it seems to take a long time. And when I run it by myself, I run a pretty quick program. So a lot of times we use an app on one of our guys' phone to do brackets, or I just make everybody pick coins and I just do it right on the paper. But yeah, it's fun, man. We've been having a good time, 80-20 splits for the winner and the second place, and cash grudge racing after, and that's pretty much it.
We kind of do the same stuff here. We do a point series. We do run a DTS1 system. It actually works very well. We have gone away from, telling people their times and all that this season. Kind of because it really doesn't matter, nor does it really reflect anything for anybody. You get a bunch of people out there in the RC world that want to set their DTS1 system up at 128 feet and tell the world that they're, running 2.1. And so we'd much rather just not worry about times and more worry about, who crosses the finish line first. We use it. It works well. We run it for the bracket class with the Tamaya class, and that works out really well too.
Yeah.
We do $12 per car per class. $2 goes into the end of the season pot for trophies and we do food and barbecue and all that stuff at the end of the year too. That's all put on by me and by us. So $10 from every car goes into the pot. We split it 80-20, kind of the same way. And our point series works where you get 5 points for showing up and 5 points for every round win that you win. And so it works out much like the Street Outlaw No Prep King point series.
Right.
And that works out for our point series. Then, Mike has come up with this idea for this King of the Hill race. It's probably the most fun in any racing. If anybody wants to adopt this, it is, I love it. Where the King of the Hill, we have everybody that signs up, you grab a chip, and where you wind up out of your chip draw is where you start the list. We run 4 rounds. Yeah, go ahead, Mike, on this. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's probably
you basically run 4 rounds. You have 4 rounds of opportunities or 4 rounds worth of racing, and by rounds I mean the bottom of the list challenges the person above them, and if the challenger wins, he continues to immediately challenge the next one above the list until he or she gets stopped by the defending spot, in which case they would end up there, and then the defending spot would then start to
Really cool.
challenge people above them. So everybody, what's really cool about this, and I kind of use this analogy, it's like the endurance racing of drag racing, if that makes any kind of sense, because everybody's gets a huge opportunity to do a lot of drag racing with this format. So it's really fun. It really pushes the limits of both the driver and in terms of concentration, as well as the car itself, because you're really running it through the ringer, because within 2 minutes you're challenging the next guy. So can your car hold up, especially when you're trying to claw your way up the list. So each round ends with the top 2 racers racing each other, and then there's a break period, and then we do it 3 more times after that. So it's a fun way of and what's funny is just because you're at the top of the list or at the top of the list, if you fall, you don't go down to second place, you go all the way back to the bottom, and then you have to claw your way back up again, and everybody moves up. Yeah.
That's cool. I really like that. That's pretty neat.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's like I said, it's a fun format, so. And eventually the faster guys wind up being near the top. It just works out. After 4 rounds of racing, you really do start to see who the faster people of the group are, so it's pretty cool.
We had one of these races after our first point race 2 weeks ago, and I literally had to run over everybody twice to win it. I won the King of the Hill race, but I started at the bottom. I raced like 2 races and lost. I was still down there. In the second round, I raced my way all the way to the top. And then in the third round, I got knocked off the top all the way back down to start the final round at the bottom. And started the final round at the bottom and had to run over everybody in the final round to win it again. I think I ran my car over the course of the 4 rounds. I think I ran it 21 times.
Like I said, See, I mean, what other drag race format allows somebody to run their car that much? There isn't one. So
The car would
it's
melt into a puddle.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, and you'll soon find out pretty quickly those guys who are running right on that edge. If they're so
I'm
it is
waiting for somebody to burn something down in their car at some point. Nobody has yet, but I'm waiting for somebody to have ESC motor battery failure fire. Yeah.
Yep. We'll see.
Sure.
We're going to definitely do more. I'm going to honestly try and cram 2 or 3 more in the season.
I think we have to have 4, Mike. I think we should have 4 King of the Hill races.
Yeah.
I do. They're a lot of fun. I think people had a great time. And now, I mean, can you imagine if we got 20 people, 25 people at the King of the Hill race? Like, that hill's going to be awesome. So huge to climb. Oh, my gosh. You fall to the bottom. You fall to the bottom, you're going to cry.
Yeah.
Bottom, you're gonna
Man,
cry.
it's almost 1:30 here, boys. I got to go to sleep.
Thanks for hanging in there, Ben.
Yeah, I'm trying my best. I don't got to work in the morning, so just I'm just bitching and moaning. It's no big deal.
I got you.
It's all good. Yeah, it's getting late here too.
Yep, you're about an hour and a half past my bedtime. I'm normally out by 10, going to bed. Unless I'm staying up late working on the cars in here, so.
Yep.
Which could be tonight. I may be in here till who knows what time tonight. I still got to glue tires. Because, I mean, my reactions that have 60 passes on them are starting to wear thin, so it's time to put some new treads on there before Saturday. Yeah. Can't risk any catastrophic tire failure at the points race. But,
all right. Cool. It'll be fun.
Absolutely.
Hopefully the weather will hold out. It's that time of the year where you get those afternoon thunderstorms here that just suck.
You know, that's kind of what I was hoping by moving it back till 6 o'clock instead of 5 o'clock, is that maybe that we'll get that typical afternoon thunderstorm that rolls through, and then the evening clears up and we have a beautiful evening.
Jordan, you're muted.
Yep.
Thank you.
There you go.
Yep.
Hey, there you are. You've been talking. We haven't heard you for a long time.
Oh, good times, good times. No, thank you guys so much for coming on the show tonight. Appreciate you all. Hey, Ben, good luck tomorrow, man. Hope you guys do well. Hope you have fun.
Thanks, man.
Hey,
I'll post some videos up for you guys.
You guys have live feeds or anything like that?
We have several guys that do it. I run it by myself, so it's hard for me to do it. But we have had some guys put them up, and any videos I get, I do a lot of slow-mo finish line stuff, so I'll post some video up for you guys.
Awesome.
Sweet.
Yeah, we'll check it out.
Yeah.
For sure.
Cool. I definitely appreciate it. It's nice meeting you guys for sure, Jordan. It's always good seeing you and talking to you.
You too, Ben.
Yep.
Stoked to see you having some fun out there with the RCs, guys. And for everyone local, we'll see you all on Saturday at the points race number 2. Have a great night. See you guys next week.
Later.
Later.
Yeah.